Hello and welcome back to the channel. On this very exciting day, when we'll be looking at part one or day one of this very exciting journey that we'll be taking as we rebuild this BMW M2 together. Now, today, what I plan to do is to give you an sort of in-depth review at the car itself, the damage obviously that is there, and what we plan to do to get this baby back on the road. So I thought I'd start off on the better looking side because it's the one that obviously is not accident damage. So please take a good look, as you most likely will not be seeing much of this side going forward, as obviously we'll be focusing on the side that we do need to rebuild and repair. Now, I was told by BMW that these are not actually original rims for this car. It looks like these are aftermarket or replicas. To be honest, I was very fooled when I looked at them with the M badge over there and performance. I thought these were genuine. They happen to be CS style rims, and I must say they look very good in black against the black color of the car itself. Um, Moving on to the front, you'll see the damage is actually concentrated on the left hand side of the vehicle. So it looks like this impacted with maybe a pole or something of that nature. I am not really sure, but what it did obviously is that it sort of grazed the bonnet. It sheared the fender right off, and obviously it buggered up the front wheel and the rear. So we'll see more damage here. um, with the lower control arm at the bend, it's fully bent, as you can see there. Maybe not fully bent, but very well bent. And the left tie rod as well, you will see it's got a bend there, but we'll take a closer look once we've taken off the wheel, which we plan to do today. The upper control arm seems okay, but we'll just do a thorough inspection on that as well to make sure that it works fine. The plan for today obviously is to strip that. Like I said, we'll be removing that wheel arch liner so that we've got more space to work in there. We'll remove the wheel and we'll take this rim to where they'll actually get it repaired. If it can be repaired, they'll x-ray it to see if it's got any cracks in it. If it does not have any cracks in it, then we'll get it repaired. But if it does have cracks and it cannot be repaired, unfortunately, that will just add to the bill, as we'll need to look for a similar replica rim for the left side. Now let's get on inside and see what kind of damage we are looking at inside there.
And the side mirrors were damaged. Not entirely sure how this happened, but I don't think this was from the accident, because both of them, if you look at this, I think someone tried to rip them off or did rip them off. This is the one on the left. Now let's check the one on the right. You'll see the exact type of damage. So someone just sheared these off or ripped them off for whatever reason.
Obviously, because of the high impact, as we have just seen, the airbags did pop, the steering one as well as the passenger one, as you can see over there. The thing is that the seat belts, funny enough, did not lock. So I've tested all four of them and all of them seem to be working just fine. So that's one less thing for us to worry about. Crossing fingers, we cross them that way, cross them that way. Whichever way, we are crossing fingers and we are crossing our toes as well. Obviously, we will have to reset the crash data, and I'm hoping that will be the extent of what we need to do where that is concerned. But obviously, we will need to replace the steering wheel airbag, which shouldn't be such a big job. What will be a massive job is when we replace this baby here, the dashboard. We'll remove the whole thing. That's the plan anyway. And preferably, I want to get a new one, because getting that repaired, I don't want to take any chances where safety is concerned. So I'd rather get a brand new or brand new second-hand dashboard, get that replaced in there, and the airbag, of course. And that is probably going to be one of the bigger jobs that we have to do on this rebuild. Oh yeah, not forgetting the curtain airbag. So on the left hand side, the curtain airbag over there did go. I'm hoping we'll be able to salvage this roof liner, because to get another one, again, just adding more to the bill. But I'm hoping we'll be able to salvage this one here. But we'll definitely need those curtain airbags for the left hand side. And that really is the extent of the damage. So yeah, let's get cracking with removing that wheel.
But before we get cracking on that, Will, let me treat you to a cold start of this baby. Just listen to this. Doesn't that just sound amazing? And obviously there's like 101 messages, warning messages here, about all sorts of different things, but we'll obviously get to that when we get to that. Right now the thing is, or the first thing is to obviously get that wheel sorted out, try and sort out all the major things up front, and then that will probably take care of some of these warnings. And after that, then we'll just take care of each warning message as it remains.
Hey, it looks like the impact was so great that it dislodged the headlight right under here. Let's see if we can get that loose. And there you go. There you've got the main lens of the headlight right there. So we'll keep on stripping and get as much of all of these little bits out of here as possible. And there you have it. Gonna keep this safe. I suspect we might need to reuse them in the future since there's electronics there. And since we have this, fortunately, when we get the new headlight, we won't need to reprogram it into that vehicle. Of course, we will have these already.
And over here, I decided to remove the front part of the wheel arch liner just to give us a bit more room to work, as the real estate in this part of the vehicle is quite limited. Okay, just a quick recap of where we are. We've gone ahead and stripped as much as we could of this bracket here. So I've come to understand that there is actually an intercooler that sits in front of this wheel, which gives me the impression that it actually sits on this bracket, at the bottom of this bracket. And I also see there's pipes over here. I presume these actually go to that intercooler. So it might not necessarily be for the headlight as I initially thought. I think the headlight might sit on top of it somehow, but it does also hold the intercooler that sits here, which unfortunately we'll have to replace as well. So with that said, what I've done is I've gone ahead and jacked up the vehicle. So you probably know it does have a central jacking point for your jack right here. So this is hardened so that you can put your jack over there and you can lift up the whole front section. What I've done is just lift up both ends, the right and the left of the front, so that we do not put unnecessary strain on the vehicle by jacking up just one side. It is only the left side that we need to jack up, really, but so that there's not unnecessary strain on just one point of the vehicle, I've decided to jack up both sides, the left and the right, so that you just lift up the front side of the vehicle. Very important to make sure that you do not leave it on your actual jack, but put it on jack stands, as these are much safer and unlikely to fail. And since you have done that, make sure that you actually have chokes here at the back in your back wheels, so that the car does not roll back. especially if you're working on an incline like I am. If you can see, the parking is actually sloping towards the back of the vehicle here, so these chokes are crucial and critically important while we're here. Beautiful. But without wasting any more time, let's get cracking with the job. What we are doing today, we are removing this wheel. As mentioned before, we're gonna take it off to be tested, x-rayed, check if there's any cracks in there, the extent of the damage, and see if it indeed can be repaired. If not, we'll unfortunately have to get a replacement one. Let's get cracking. Now, I've struggled quite a bit off camera to get all of these nuts off, these bolts, but now they are off, all 5 of them, albeit it was with great difficulty. So now what I need to do is try and remove the wheel, because I've tried a few times, it doesn't seem to want to budge. But I'll try now get it off so that we can get a closer look at all of the damage that is inside over there. I think since the impact on this wheel during the accident was so hard that it bent the lower control arm, this pulled on the back of the wheel, forcing it to turn to the left. So to be able to get it straight, I had to turn the steering wheel all the way to the right, and this seemed to have done the trick, as I was able to then wiggle the wheel out of place. Okay, let's take a closer look at this rim over here. You will see serious damage upon impact over there. Serious damage. Oh, I wonder if they'll be able to repair this, but we'll take it to the pros and then they'll let us know, and then now we can get a closer look at what is going on in there. With the wheel now removed, we'll go ahead and remove the brake caliper, after which we'll remove the brake disc. And then, as you can see, that the brake dust cover or shield was badly damaged during the accident as well, so we'll remove that as well, so that we can get a clear picture of all the damage that has happened behind the wheel hub. So let's go ahead and remove your brake caliper. What you'll need for that is your number 18 spanner, which we'll use now to get that off, and then we'll just hang it off the spring up there. Okay, let's start with the bottom bolt and see. Okay, yeah, confession, I had loosened this a bit because these are really hardened quite, fastened quite hard in there. And then for the top bolt, also I'd loosened that one as well, so now it comes right off. Okay, let's get the bolts out. That's the top one. And this is the bottom one, so both of them are off. This is my makeshift caliper hanger, which I'm hoping will do the trick. I'm just gonna try and hook this up on the spring over here, and the spring over there, and let's see if we can ease this caliper out. Okay, this caliper wants us to earn our money, work for our money, so let's do it the proper way, remove the brake pads, and then we'll get this off the right way. Okay, the first pin is out. Let's tackle the next one. Second pin is out, so both of them are now out, as well as this apparatus that keeps the pads in place. Now let's try and get them out and see how fun that's gonna be. Okay, that just spoiled my day by coming out easier than I expected. Looks like there's still very good life on these pads, so I'll definitely be keeping them. The second pad is out as well. Although I'm a little worried about this damage that I see on it, which I'm assuming occurred during the accident. So I'll have to just assess the disc as well and see how that's looking. So now the next thing is obviously to take out the caliper, and then after the caliper we'll take out the disc by removing these two look like Torx screws, and then we'll get this out, take out the brake dust boot, and let's get a better look of what's going on inside there. For the caliper, just gonna prepare my makeshift caliper hanger, put it right there on the spring, and let's get this caliper out. And this thing is massive. Obviously it's a 4 piston caliper, 2 pistons on either side. Can't really turn the camera all that well to the other side, but you'll see if I can do that. There's 2 pistons there as well, so that's a very good stopping power. Let's hang that up and continue or proceed to removing the brake disc. Now the brake discs are held in place by 2 Torx screws. These are size T number 5, and so you obviously need the same size screwdriver or Torx bit to be able to get them out. You will have to put your back into it, as these are fastened quite hard, obviously for safety reasons. I did also notice that there is a thin washer or plate that sits in between the disc and the wheel. I suppose this is meant to keep the wheel from getting stuck onto the disc. As you saw the difficulty we had in removing the wheel, this has not worked all that well in our case, but I suppose this was the idea behind it. Both screws are out over there. Now let's get out the brake disc. This is my mouth of it thing. Seems to be stuck on just a little bit. So we'll take our rubber hammer over there and just give it a few taps around to see if we can get it loose. Okay, whoa, this thing is heavy and it's finally out. Wow, this thing is massive and heavy. Let's have a look at that thing. Wow, absolutely massive and definitely very heavy, very heavy. Gonna put this away now, and then we're gonna tackle next the dust shield cover. And you'll need your number 10 spanner. I'm gonna use the socket one to get these two bolts, this one and that one, out of place, and then we should have this out. Out. The next one. Okay, there's a third one I didn't notice right here at the bottom, so that will be the last one. Need an even longer extension for that one, for reach. And that's it. Your brake dust shield is out. Because of the impact, this last bolt is sort of embedded in there, so I just have to find a way to get it out. But just to see you the extent of the damage, I don't think this should be wobbly like this. Yeah, wobbly to some extent, but not bent the way that it is in certain places. Alright, I've taken the rear part of the remaining arch liner off so that you can get a clearer view of what the extent of the damage in here is. So if we're closer, I've also just hung this caliper a bit higher up to give us more room to work here at the bottom. Now if you look over here, you'll see, as I've mentioned before, this lower arm or lower wishbone or control arm is very bent, so we need to get that removed. This, if you look at it from the top, this tie rod assembly, you'll see it's bent, so it looks like it was hit from the front, so it's bent towards the back a bit. But I've already got those two parts with me from BMW. We just need to get those replaced. This one looks like it got damaged or dislodged just a little bit. You'll see there is a cleaner part over there, which gives me the impression that that part was inside this whole assembly, which means it moved off a bit, which means we might need to get this replaced. But what I'll do is try and get all of this off first for us to be able to see that. What I've realized though is that for me to be able to work on the tie rod assembly, as well as to remove the lower control arm, I need to get this plate, this splash cover off, which is probably going to be subject of the next video. We'll get that removed and get all of this replaced. Hopefully by that time I would have sourced another wheel which will allow us to assemble everything back, put the wheel on and get the car moving and just take it for a quick spin around the complex. So if you want to see that, please do tune in next time. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you enjoyed this content, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and definitely share the video with those whom you think might be interested in this type of work. Till then, cheerio.